Thanks very much, Ron. And the picture at the New York Stock Exchange has arrows higher. The markets are near the highs of the day as we enter the final and most important hour of the trading day.
Now on the closing bell, fueling concerns. How long will production be down? And when will you get price relief? Plus, rolling the dice on Vegas. Will Hurricane Katrina be a big deal at the upcoming Global Gaming Expo? And from Russia with Love, the CEO of Russia's biggest telecom company talks expansion. We'll tell you where he's headed. The final and most important hour of the trading day is underway as we count you down to the closing bell.
And welcome, everyone, to the closing bell. I'm Maria Bartiromo.
And I am Dylan Radigan, taking the pulse of the market at this hour. A change on the ground in the Gulf for FEMA as Mike Brown returns to Washington. An FDA panel backing the drug Pargluva as a standalone therapy for diabetes, and futures on gasoline dropping below $2 a barrel. Right now, Dow Jones Industrial Average gaining ground just off its high for the day, up 0.8%. NASDAQ, same story, although dragged down a touch by weakness in Intel. Other stocks in the average overcome that weakness. S&P 500 right now continues to advance. Exxon and McDonald's among your best performers at this hour, Maria.
Dylan, we have terribly unfortunate and breaking news. CNBC has learned that the chairman of Boeing, Lou Platt, has died. Mr. Platt died of a brain aneurysm. That is the only information we have right now. We did call Boeing, and we're told that officials at Boeing were unavailable for comment. We will have more on this story as we get it. Again, the chairman of Boeing, Lou Platt, has died. Dylan.
Thank you very much, Maria. A change on the ground for FEMA. In a press conference just about an hour ago, the head of Homeland Security said it was time to move to the next phase of recovery.
I have directed Mike Brown to return to administering FEMA nationally, and I have appointed Vice Admiral Thad Allen of the Coast Guard as the principal federal official overseeing the Hurricane Katrina response and recovery effort in the field.
Mr. Chertoff went on to say Hurricane Katrina will go down as the largest natural disaster in American history.
Well, several of the nation's refineries continue to feel the pinch from Hurricane Katrina. 4 of the biggest remain shut and are expected to remain so through the end of the year. Is this as good as the recovery effort is going to get for now for oil and the market? Seth Kleinman, market analyst with PFC Energy.
Bristol Myers Merck drug for diabetes as a standalone treatment. CNBC pharmaceutical reporter Mike Huck.
Santelli is live at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. But first, Bob Pisani at the New York Stock Exchange. Bob?
And of course, people are just starting to mention what you just were reporting there, Maria, about Lou Platt of Boeing having just died from that brain aneurysm. Mr. Platt was a member of the board of directors since 1999. I don't know if we can pull up an intraday chart of Boeing to see what kind of reaction. Boeing does not trade right here near me, so I don't particularly see it, but certainly that's already getting a lot of discussion down here on the floor. Let's move on and talk a little bit about what we are seeing here, and there you see Boeing here moving a bit to the downside since that news has come out. We have seen a rather remarkable day because this is a day where the Treasury market nor the oil market is particularly moving stocks around. They are moving up on their own accord. It is, again, a very broad market advance. The S&P 500 is up nearly 3% since Katrina happened 2 weeks ago. It's been very broad. Let's take a look at the markets in the last hour. 2-to-1 advancing to declining stocks today. Energy stocks are again the market leaders. In some sense, that's almost normal at this point. Semiconductors are getting a lot of attention because of National Semi's comments and Texas Instruments. So there's some excitement in that group, and that hasn't been around. That kind of excitement hasn't been around for a while. The one downside, if you are a bull here, is the transportation stocks are clearly breaking down in a rather awful August and a continually awful September. Take a look, for example, at Federal Express. There are not many new 52-week lows down here. There are many more new highs than lows right now, but Federal Express is basically there at a 52-week low. And right across the board, we've seen airlines down, truckers down today on the yellow comments due to Katrina. Let's take a look at those energy stocks, and once again, historic highs in some of the major ones. The exploration and production companies like EOG and the mid-tier oil companies like Care McGee, all moving, Devon, Occidental, all of them historic highs, not 52-week highs, historic highs. They're back in that super leadership position that they occupied a while ago, and even Valero Energy in the refiners is at a historic high. At the same time, as Ron pointed out a little while ago, there is some issues surrounding concerns about inflation. There are Katrina bears out there who are insisting that those who feel that the Fed is going to pause in their campaign of raising interest rates are wrong. and that inflation is a major issue. Gold is here near its highs for the year right now, and today gold stocks, if you take a look, are also moving rather aggressively. It is fairly unusual to see gold stocks move more than $1, but this is happening with Anglo, with Newmont, with Meridian, Freeport-McMoRan, which is gold, and copper also moving to the upside. So Maria, there are people who are clearly betting at this point that inflation is going to be an issue for the near term. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. And more on our breaking story at this hour. As we have been reporting, Lou Platt, 50 minutes before the close of trading for the week.